I won't get into the fact that Laura Loomer is spending more time with the president than the president's wife, but you have this list of conspiracy theories that she has advanced, including Haitian immigrants eat pets and humans. Kamala Harris lied about being black. 2020 election was stolen. Ukrainian spies infiltrated Capitol on January 6th. School shootings were staged or allowed to occur. Casey DeSantis exaggerated breast cancer diagnosis. The deep state manipulated weather ahead of Iowa's caucuses to benefit Nikki Haley. Yes, it's the manipulation of the weather that I found the most, the easiest of all of these things to do. What is it about us that make us so stupid that we believe this crap and that we push it out and we elevate it up? And as you noted in your last answer, we actually go out and try to find corroborating evidence that the deep state manipulated the weather ahead of the Iowa caucuses. I don't understand it. Are we so desperate and alone and forgotten that this is the playground where we feel accepted and believed? What's going on? Because, you know, the Loomers of the world will do, she's grifting, she's making her money, she's got access, she's all up on the president. We've seen the photo, right? She's all up on his chest, right? So we know what her thing is. But why are we, the people, so stupid? Yeah, that photo, that photo. I'm like, where's Melania? Okay? Melania, check your man.
I tell you, my wife wouldn't allow it.
What is it about us on this? I don't understand. I don't get.
Still on the subject of money, but not necessarily what money Laura Loomer is receiving from Don Shitsy Pantsy. Jamie Harrison on MSNBC this Saturday, staggering amount of money that Kamala Harris raised inside 24 hours. Wow.
How should I vote? Who are the candidates? What are the issues, right? We all have those folks that we know that were in our communities. Well, now the DNC has some resources that we can provide some of those micro grants to those folks to say, okay, have folks over, you know, here's some money for some food and all this other stuff, and educate them about what's going on, what's important, and who are the candidates that are best for them and their community.
To those resources, the New York Times reported on Thursday that $47 million flowed into the Harris coffers 24 hours after the debate. That tally shared by the Harris campaign with the New York Times included donations from 600,000 individual donors. Now, I want to stop there and put a pin on it. It goes on to say that she raised $81 million in the first days of July. That number, the $47 million is impressive.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the most important number to me is the 600,000 people who gave that money.
Exactly.
Because now, a couple of things, Chairman, as you know. One, a lot of those donors are going to be repeat donors, number one. But more importantly, number two, and this is something that is an important strategy, when you can turn your donors into volunteers. And your volunteers into donors. And that combination is a sweet spot in any election cycle. You seem to have reached that point where you're seeing that kind of energy, where your volunteers, 300,000, 400,000 people volunteering, 600,000 people donating. Resources is not going to be a problem for the DNC.
It's not going to be a problem.
Human resources.
Human resources, not. I mean, when you have 40,000 new volunteers signing up in Florida, when you have 40,000 new volunteers signing up in Pennsylvania, when you got tens of thousands of volunteers in North Carolina, and I want to be on the record right here, we are going to win North Carolina. I don't know if y'all saw those forums. I have spent probably in the last 6 months 4 trips to eastern North Carolina, not to Charlotte, not to Raleigh, not to Durham, but to poor black folks in them rural counties, and talking to those folks. We are going to win North Carolina this election cycle. So, you know, and it's partly because the energy's on the ground. People want to do, as Michelle Obama said, they want to do something. They are ready and they're fired up. They're tired. The VP said it. They are tired of all of this anguish and this vitriol and this division that they're getting from Donald Trump, and they're ready for a little bit of hope. You know, a good book says suffering may may endure for a night, but
joy coming in the morning.
Joy
Don't get me started up in here preaching and running.
That joy is Kamala Harris.
That joy is coming. Well, we're going to bring a little bit more joy, Chairman. Stick around because we want to discuss.
So we started a rumour that Trump had impregnated Laura Loomer. We do not have any evidence. We just have a picture where, well, yeah, something could be going on, because how is it possible that somebody who is an extremist is probably the best way of describing her, is spending so much time with a former president of the United States of America on a campaign trail? Yeah, he's doing whatever he's doing. Yet his wife is nowhere to be seen. And she's not part of the campaign team, by the way. She isn't. She's just there. What is she doing? Right? She's somebody who well, I suppose you could call her a troll. Okay? Maybe that's being kind. A little bit septic in the head. What is her contribution that she spends so much time with the former president of the United States of America, who is, well, probably old enough to be her great-granddad? I think her age. I'm just literally stating some facts. What is going on there? And why are none of the evangelicals or the people who just, believe in family values, why are they not saying anything? Like, nada. And also, I haven't even seen anybody at CNN really say too much, the odd bit here and there. Can you imagine if for one moment Kamala Harris was seen with somebody, it was, I don't know, let's say, a young man that was in her company all the time, in the same way Laura Loomer is in the company of the former Don Shitsy Pansy. You see the double standards which are going on here? And can I say one really important thing while I'm at it, while I remember? Kamala's rallies are huge. Crowds are huge. Reception is huge. Atmosphere is huge. People paying attention is huge. In the same way that since Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala, voter registration and interest in voters has just exploded all over the place. These are the facts, not the nonsense that Trump tracks out. Seriously, is one journalist somewhere going to actually stand up and start pushing the truth out? Because as Kamala says, she serves the American people, and they, believe it or not, are so much smarter than, I would say, a lot of those who call themselves journalists.
Go ahead.
What would you say to your Republican colleagues or your allies who are concerned about your close relationship with Laura Loomer?
Well, I don't know what they would say. Laura's been a supporter of mine, just like a lot of people are supporters, and she's been a supporter of mine. She speaks very positively of the campaign. I'm not sure why you asked that question, but Laura is a supporter. I don't control Laura. Laura has to say what she wants. She's a free spirit. Well, I don't know. I mean, look, I can't tell Laura what to do. Laura's a supporter. I have a lot of supporters, but I don't know what exactly you're referring to. That's okay. Yeah, please. I just don't know. Laura's a supporter. I don't know. She is a strong person. She's got strong opinions, and I don't know what she said, but that's not up to me. She's a supporter. Please.
Traveling with you on your plane.
Okay, a lot of people do. It's a very big plane.
With you. She made racist remarks about your opponent. She also espoused conspiracy theories about 9/11. Do you disavow those remarks?
Well, to see what the remarks are. You're telling me for the first time we're here discussing the destruction of San Francisco and California by a person that's running for president. So I don't even know what you're talking about. I do know that she may have said something based on what you're telling me, but I don't know what she said. But I'll go take a look and I'll put out a statement later on, but I really don't know. Please.
They're continuing the nonsense. The former president of the United States of America had a disaster, an absolute disaster, but the parallel universe it is described as if he's won something. It hasn't. Dementia, he was all over the place. It was a really, really bad performance. Yet, look at the difference. I don't see anybody asking him to stand aside. I don't see anybody questioning his cognitive situation.
People are being connected already through social media. It's getting amplified through these political figures. And the purpose is actually to create the conditions for violence or the potential for violence as an instrument for getting political power. And that's ultimately what it's about. There are people that really believe it. They're the stupid ones. They're the ones that are hopped up on misinformation. And then in some ways, there are the people that don't believe it, but don't care either, like the Ted Cruzes of the world, right? That are doing it solely because they think this is a political strategy to get power. And that is just as disgusting and more dangerous. And they're either doing it because they believe it or they're doing it for power. But that should scare all of us, because this model we just saw this play out of the UK, where there was all those violent riots. And so they exploited these extremists. They exploited this sort of disinformation online, and then they went after and targeted Muslims in violent attacks. And so I think we have to be really concerned about what's in front of us right now. There's no antibodies in the system. And what we've just seen over the last week is just a small taste of what we have in front of us for the next few weeks. So we need to gird ourselves, and we need to stay laser focused on the fact that the only real way to sort of deal with this long term is to get over the first challenge in front of us. Is we got to win this election.